Hi guys, welcome to episode 4 of Coffee and ABA, where we're discussing all things applied behavioral analysis over a nice cup of coffee. We're going to jump into the basics and talk about data collection today, which is one of my favorite things to talk about. We're going to use that empiricism assumption and the analytic dimensions that we talked about before, because we know that data drives every decision that we make regarding programming for each individual. There are two main categories of data collection in ABA. We have our continuous measurement and our discontinuous measurement. And don't worry, I didn't forget about ABC data or narrative data. That's coming in a later episode. So, looking at our continuous measurement, this captures every single instance of a behavior during a specific time period. We use it when we need some high accuracy detailed data, and the behaviors have a clear start and end. These methods provide a clearer and complete picture of the behavior and give us a little bit more details for precise analysis and targeted intervention. The 5 types of continuous measurement are frequency, which is how many times a behavior occurs. So for example, how many times does a child bite their nails? Our rate, which is our frequency, just over a specific time period. For example, how many times a child bites their nails in an hour. Duration measures how long that behavior lasts. For example, timing how long a tantrum takes. Latency is the time between a stimulus and the start of a response. So for example, timing how long it takes for a child to start cleaning up their toys after being told to do so. And finally, our inner response time. This measures the time between 2 instances of the same behavior. For example, measuring the time between 2 instances of a child clapping their hands. While these continuous measurements capture every instance of behavior and tend to give a little bit of a clearer picture, discontinuous measurement involves sampling behavior at specific intervals, which is perfect when that continuous observation is a little bit difficult. It gives us like a little sample of the behaviors that are occurring, and it helps when we're dealing with behaviors that occur at a high frequency, or we are observing large groups of students in a classroom, or we have limited resources. Our 3 types of discontinuous measurement are partial interval, which involves observing a behavior during a specific interval and recording if it happens at any point. So, for example, we're observing a child for a 30-second interval. The target behavior is shouting out, and this occurs at any time during that little 30-second window. It's recorded as happening, even if it only happens for a second or 2. We have our whole interval recording, which involves observing a behavior during a specific interval, but we only record it if it happens the entire time. So given that same 30-second window, if the behavior of shouting out occurs for that entire 30 seconds, it's recorded. If the child shouts out at any point within that 30 seconds, even if it's for a brief moment, it's not recorded as happening. And then finally, we have our momentary time sampling. This involves observing a behavior at the very end of the interval and recording only if it's occurring at that precise moment in time. For example, back to our 30-second interval, at that exact 30-second mark, if shouting out is occurring, it's recorded. If the child shouts out even a second before or 5 seconds before the end of that 30-second mark, it's not recorded as happening. Some key considerations to take away from all this is continuous measurement is generally more accurate, but discontinuous provides valuable insights when it's used appropriately. Discontinuous measurements are more practical in real-world settings because it allows for data collection when continuous observation is a little bit more challenging. The best method, though, depends on what specific behaviors are being observed, the resources, and the desired level of detail. In essence, both methods are very valuable tools in ABA for understanding and modifying behavior, and each come with their own strengths and weaknesses. I hope you enjoyed today's Coffee and ABA, and I hope you enjoy your coffee.